Hello, my name is Heather and I am the owner of Party Masters. This lesson, number 2, is going to be discussing brushes. The first thing we need to do is go over the different names of the parts of your brush. A lot of painters use those names as they're explaining their different designs to you, so it's really important to know what they're called. The very tip of your brush is called the toe. This in here, the center part, is called the belly. The bottom is known as the heel. Some people will also call this here, the side, they'll call that the heel. But what they really mean is you're brushing it with this bottom part. This here is called the ferrule. When I refer to the ferrule, I'm referring to where it begins. Okay, most face painters do. They're talking about where your bristles first go into the metal. Then you've got your crimp, which is the part that holds the ferrule onto your handle. Main types of 4 brushes that we're going to discuss here today are your round brushes. Round brushes I use for a lot of different things. I use them for dots, stars, swirls, clusters, filling things in, originally outlining things, and also a smaller one for your finishing outline. The next one here, we have a filbert brush. A filbert brush has kind of an ending like a teardrop, and this I use a lot for filling things in. I use it for snakes, Batman and Spider-Man. Since they're a bit larger on the face, I would recommend getting a 1/2 inch of this and also a 3/4 inch. This one here, I also recommend getting a 3/4 inch and the 1/2 inch. It is called a flat brush, and basically it's flat, but it's also flat on the beginning of it, on the toe. The toe on this one is angled, so it's called an angled brush. I would recommend getting the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch of an angled brush as well. You're going to find you're going to use both the flat and the angled brushes for a lot of work with split cakes, as well as filling in larger areas. Now let's talk about brush care. This is probably the most important part of this video. And the reason is because you absolutely want to make your brushes last as long as possible. The very worst thing you can do to your brushes is use them and then throw them in your water like that and leave them. What ends up happening if you do that, you end up with brushes that are going to be frayed and not nice and sharp. Instead of getting a nice sharp edge with that, you're just going to get an old splayed out paint. So we always want to make sure that after we wash our brushes, we rub it off a little bit on a paper towel. And if you watch what I'm doing at this point, I'm training it back into shape so that it's exactly how I want it to be when I use it again. And then I leave it sitting up in my water container. Okay, so you can leave them sitting up like this, and then when you are finished with using your brushes for the day, I highly recommend that you leave them laying flat down and do a little bit with your hands just to get it exactly how you want it to dry, so that the next time that you use them, they're ready to go. It's called training the brushes. Something else that I highly recommend, this helps keep your water a little cleaner, but it also helps your paintbrushes. Once you've used a paintbrush, hang on, let me get a darker color for you there. Once you've used a paintbrush, which I'll show you consistency in the next lesson, but for right now, I'm just going to add some paint onto the brush. So you're left with this at the end after you've used it already on the face or whatever you've done for your pattern. wipe off the excess onto a paper towel. And this will do a couple of things. The main one being that it's going to help keep your water much, much cleaner. And it's also going to help with those brushes, keeping them in good shape. So then I wipe the water off. And then whether you do it just on there or you do it like this, get that shape back to how you want it before you put it away. Okay, so that's pretty much it for brush care. I hope that that has helped you and will help you in the future. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson where we are going to discuss the consistency of the face paint, which is quite often the most difficult part of face painting. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye and have a great day.